So we're going to work on some exercises for the shoulders. So you're going to come into a push-up position like this. Now if you're struggling to on your feet, go on your knees instead. From here, I'm just going to try and make my weight even, make sure my hands are underneath my shoulders, knees underneath my hips. I'm not like this, not like that. I'm trying to be fairly neutral. So from here, I'm just going to start to tap each shoulder. And if I want to, I can tap and touch my knees, touch my feet, like that. I can even touch that side, touch through here. Now as I want to make it more difficult, I can go up on my hands like this. So my hands here, that's quite difficult. If I go into a push-up position like this, so here, then tap, tap, touch, touch, touch through here. And from the front side. So it's okay to shift a little bit, but don't be doing something like this. If you want to make it even more challenging, then you go from here, up, turn up, back down, turn up, back down. Going through the shoulder sleeper today. So you're gonna lay directly onto your shoulder. So don't lie like this on your shoulder blade. I want you to be on the tip of your shoulder. So get that shoulder underneath you, like that. Now, if you're really struggling with this and you find it difficult, it's much easier if you bring your elbow from being at 90 degrees to closer towards your body. So if you feel pain in this area, like if you go here and you feel, oh, that's quite painful, bring it down a little bit closer towards your body and then aim your hand towards your belly button. If you find you run out of space, take your legs and then push them a little bit further away from the body so your body's in a V shape. This will give you a bit more room to play with, like that. So from here, I'm going to go on my shoulder. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this top hand, place it on through here. Now without this bottom hand doing much, I'm going to pull my hand down towards the floor, like that, going as far as I can. Now this can be very uncomfortable, so go slowly. When you feel it, you're going to predominantly feel it on the top of your shoulder and at the back. If you're feeling it in the front, then stop doing this exercise. So I said, you should feel predominantly on the top and the back. Now it's going to feel like quite a deep stretch because we're stretching the ligaments. So you're going to go down, find your stretch like that, and now you're going to start breathing through your nose. You want to do this because you need to learn to relax. If you find your head is getting tired, find something to rest your head against on, like a foam roller, a pillow, a block or something like that. So again, focusing on the breathing. And as you breathe and relax, try and see if you can go a little bit further down with your hand. You'll gain a couple extra centimeters with your breathing. Now you want to hold this position for roughly about a minute or so. And like I said, it's going to be uncomfortable, so find a level of discomfort you're okay with and just stay there. You don't want to be trying to push through pain like, oh, or being really, really tense because that defeats the purpose of it. I'm going to go through here. After the minute, you're going to start to do an isometric. So isometric just means not moving. So you're going to start to press your bottom hand up into your top hand. So my hand is here in the stretch. Now my bottom hand is going to start to press up at about 5%. So I'm just equaling the pressure with my left hand. Okay, now I'm going to increase to 10%, 15%, 20. As I get to 20, I'm going to start to squeeze my fist on the bottom hand, start to squeeze my bicep, squeeze my pec, start to squeeze my other hand. My other hand's going to come up a little bit more, start to press down harder. So now I'm at 40%, 50, I'm going to go all the way up to 80%. So. And you want to be doing it shaking. And if you're like me and you're struggling to talk, that means you're probably at 70 or 80%. And you want to hold and then slowly relax. After that, keep your top hand where it is, and now with the bottom hand, try and place it onto the ground again. So you're gonna actively pull yourself down close to the ground. Hold, hold, hold for about 10 seconds, and then slowly relax. What that's gonna do, it's gonna increase your range of motion, so you're gonna find you're gonna get a boost. So try to go a bit deeper into your stretch. That's it. And now I'm gonna do an isometric from this position. So again, start to load it up. 5%, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40. I'm gonna increase now. 50, 60. My abs are getting tight. Everything's harder. Pushing a bit harder with my top hand. 80%. And I'm relaxing nice and slow. And actively pull. Pull, 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 pull. And I'm relaxing again. So you see how much further I am to the, closer I am to the ground, sorry, now. So now I'm gonna spend some time relaxing here, and you're gonna do for your required amount of sets. So what we're gonna work on is a shoulder external rotation and a shoulder internal rotation eccentric. So eccentric just means when it gets stretched, okay? So now you can start in this position, laying on your side. Once you get better, you're gonna go to a position laying on your back. For now, start in a position here. So you wanna make sure you're on top of your shoulder. You're not too much onto your shoulder blade. Start directly on top of your shoulder, okay? You're gonna grab onto a weight that's bearable for you. Start here, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly lower that weight down. Okay, now I can use both hands to come up. This is external rotation, like that. Once I get better at it and I find, okay, that's I can go much further, I can change the position of the weight. So now I'm here. So you see now my hand's getting much closer to the ground. Like that, okay? And now the internal rotation. So internal rotation is the weight's gonna be through here. And so now I'm gonna rotate down. And I'm trying to allow all the motion to happen here. And as I do it, I'm making sure my shoulder's not rolling forward. So I'm pressing down to my shoulder, and I'm just lowering down like that. As I do this, I feel the eccentric tissues being lengthened. So these stuff on here, I feel that working. When I did my external, I feel the stuff on this side here. Once that gets too easy, then you can change the position of the weight. So you can place it on through here. Okay, or you can place the weight onto the back of your hand like that. So all of this just makes it a bit easier to go further, okay? And when you do each repetition, you want to go nice and slow for about 3 to 5 seconds, going as far as you can. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to work on now is a shoulder flexion eccentric exercise. So you're going to grab a weight like this, a kettlebell or some kind of weight. You're going to press it up through here. Now keeping your back flat. So my back is flat, so I'm not letting my ribs come up. I'm keeping my back nice and flat. So I'm pressing it down to the floor like that. Okay, bring the weight up. Keep that tension there. I'll show you on both sides. So as I do it, I'm slowly lowering here. Now as you get here, your ribs are going to want to come up. So you have to fight that. Fight through here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. As far as you can, and then touch the floor, okay? If you can get all the way back towards the floor with the weight, so if I'm finding that's too easy, I can grab the weight like this, okay? Now this makes it even more challenging because I can go further and through there. Okay, so you're just training the eccentric, whoops, don't do that. Okay, so you're just training this portion of your shoulder movement, okay? You're going as far as you can without letting your ribs come up like that. So, like here, and you want to feel a stretch in here. If you're feeling any compression or tightness in the back, then don't push into that. Okay, so if you're getting here and you're like, oh, it's such a good stretch, but you feel it through here, that's not a stretch, that's your tissues compressing. So you want to feel it all through this side through here. Going as far as I can, and then you come back up, and then work again. So you're only working the eccentric portions, the lengthening portion. You're not coming back up this way. You're only coming down that way, come back up, and then again with the weight. Just like this. So I'll show you my right hand side, up through here. So I'm lowering down. Okay, I'll bring the weight up. And that's a shoulder flexion eccentric. For this exercise, you're going to need a band. Make sure the band is not too strong or not too thick, because then it becomes quite difficult. If you don't have access to a band, you can use a towel as well. Just make sure that it's quite a big towel, because you want to be able to get a full kind of range of motion. Now, depending on where you feel your pain is depending on where you're going to go to. So if you feel pain, say at this range of motion, you want to stop just before that. If you feel pain up here, you're going to go up through here. If you feel pain, then you're up to here. Once you get up to here, it does become a bit more challenging and difficult to do the isometric. So it's better if you switch to another exercise, but we're just going to be working sort of this range. Now, isometric just means that you're not moving. So essentially, imagine if I want to push it to the wall. I'm going to use all my muscular contraction, but the wall's not going to move, and neither am I. So that's essentially what we want to do. And you want to hold for time. So for this exercise, you're going to place the band usually underneath the opposite foot, and then you're going to be pulling in that direction, okay? When you pull as well, try to make sure that you're not pulling directly out to the side. You want to come slightly forward, almost at a 45-degree angle, so that you can target the delta and rotator cuff a bit better. If you pull directly out to the side, sometimes you can inadvertently get the traps and the shoulder working. That's another thing. When you're doing any exercise, it's very, very important that you feel it in the good area. So if you're feeling it through here, feeling it sort of on there, that's good. But if you're feeling your neck work really hard, then we know that there's something wrong with the technique. So it's always very important that you feel it in the correct area. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab onto my band. And when I pull, I'm trying to keep a straight elbow. And when I pull, I'm trying to go directly out to the side. Sometimes what will happen is when you pull, you can tend to try and cheat and bend the elbow a bit, and that's when you can get up in the neck. So keep the arm as straight as possible. If you find the tension is quite a lot, bring the band under the same side foot, and you'll find that that's a bit easier to manage. Okay, so from here, 45-degree angle, I'm going to tighten up through here, and then I'm keeping my thumb pointing up. I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to hold. Okay, you want to hold for time. You might find this very difficult to go. If your time limit is 30 seconds, you might not be able to 30 seconds. That's okay. Go 10 seconds, and then take a break, and then go again. Okay? So it just depends on the resistance of your band or the resistance of your towel. Will depend how hard or how easy the exercise is. But you can still get the same required amount of repetitions in if you just break them into smaller chunks. Okay? From here, I'm straight. I'm lifting directly out to the side, and then I'm going to hold for time. And as soon as I start to fatigue, I'm going to drop it back down. And then you just repeat for the required number of sets.